It's funny to me because ever since Eminem came out with the movie 8 Mile, people think that 8 Mile is the worst part of Detroit. The worst parts of Detroit are definitely more centered around 5, 6, and 7 Mile more than they are 8 Mile. The mile roads in Detroit are based off of the center point of downtown, which is Campus Martius. We are now going to see 6 Mile, called McNichols, in the city limits. It goes through Detroit, Redford, Livonia, Northville Township, and then further west through some rural townships. As we start just east of McNichols and Van Dyke, to the left is the neighborhood I just covered in my last video. I even visit an abandoned school. If you enjoy my videos, of course, make sure you like, subscribe, and check out my channel for more. Currently, we are just driving through another old industrialized section of blocks near railroad tracks, and surrounding it is crime-ridden, blighted neighborhoods. It's funny to me because ever since Eminem came out with the movie 8 Mile, people think that 8 Mile is the worst part of Detroit. The worst parts of Detroit are definitely more centered around 5, 6, and 7 Mile more than they are 8 Mile. We'll dive more into 8 Mile in a later video. People that live in the blocks on both sides of the road that we are driving have an average household income of around $25,000 a year. As we cross Davison, make sure you check out my Davison video where I cover the roadway in its entirety. If you check out Detroit's crime incident map, you can see that there's been at least one crime on just about every corner along this stretch that we're driving of McNichols or 6 Mile in the past 5 years. If you can count the number of liquor lotto stores that you see in the video, I crown you as a true champion, my friend. The households in this neck of the woods make about $19,000 a year, and poverty levels are around 40%. I did forget to turn on my stabilization features on my camera, but that just shows you even more how bad the roads can get in parts of Detroit. To the left is the city of Highland Park, one of the most poverty-stricken cities in the entire USA. McNichols serves as the northern border for Highland Park. we do start to get into some nicer parts of the city. This area has an average household income of $45,000. To the right behind the fenced-in homes is the Detroit Golf Club. In 2019, the city of Detroit hosted its first ever PGA Tour event. To the right is the University District, one of Detroit's most desired neighborhoods. It's home to around 3,000 people, and the average household income is around $70,000. The reason it's called the University District is because the University of Detroit Mercy is to the left, and further ahead, the former Marygrove College campus is on the left as well. Marygrove College cut their undergrad program in 2017 in response to financial struggles, and then the last classes were held for the Catholic school's master's programs in December of 2019. The school's closing was less of a Detroit thing and more so of a trend of small Catholic colleges closing across the country. Up ahead is Wyoming, and just a few nights after filming this video, McNichols was closed for a fatal shooting at this scene. I seem to always drive along stretches of roadway right before a major crime scene happens. The neighborhood to the left is the North Rosedale Park neighborhood, which is another highly desirable neighborhood in Detroit. About 5,500 people live here with an average household income of 80 grand. Those people definitely don't feel the need to rob their local credit union. 80 grand takes you pretty far in Detroit. Ah yes, well as we leave Detroit, welcome to Redford Charter Township, wonderful Redford. Not the nicest suburb, with a peak population of 71,900 in 1970, and now it sits at 47,000. The crime is a little bit high for comfort in these parts. Most recent crime data says that there are 1,384 property crimes a year and 334 violent crimes a year. But hey, if you call Redford home, at least you can brag about making $56,000 on average household income. Not too shabby for a suburb with below average home values. Well, it's time to change the music up as we enter a more family-friendly environment. Livonia is home to around 93,000 residents, short of its peak population of 110,000 in 1970. Nonetheless, Livonia continues to be considered a good place for people to raise a family. The schools are well funded and the home prices aren't ridiculous like some of the Oakland County suburbs further north. The average household income in Livonia is around $76,000. And now we enter Northville Township. Northville Township is even more affluent than Livonia, with average household incomes coming in around $112,000. About 29,000 people call Northville Township home, with average home prices hovering just above $400,000. Northville Township is easily one of the top affluent suburbs that Wayne County can claim. There's really not that much more to say, so enjoy the rest of the drive laps as I take you through the outer rim suburbs, outskirts of the metro area, and eventually dirt roads and hillbilly territory. Yeehaw! Enjoy!